Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to my review of this year's Royal Rumble, which ironically is now 12:17, which makes it 17 minutes after midnight, which makes it now Monday. But I thought I'd give you my review and thoughts on this year's Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Now, I know already I've listened to some people like the Brad Rules and the Off the Rope show, and a lot of people have a mixed reactions to it. They kind of look at this year's Rumble as a mixed bag, and a mixed bag basically it had some good stuff and it had some crap stuff, some crappy stuff. So yeah, it was kind of a mixed reaction. I mean, Brad, man, check his video out on this. I mean, he definitely did not think this was a good Rumble. And I know a lot of people will say, well, this pay-per-view felt like we were just watching a 3-hour Raw. And I will admit it felt like that. It did. At times it did. I mean, not saying. And the reason it felt like that for me is because, quite honestly, I was only able to watch like 90% of it. Yeah, I did watch most of it, but 90% of it, because 10% of it was used keeping an eye on my nephews, my great nephew, my family was over, and stuff like that. So, and the thing is, I had to go back and forth because my great nephew, he loves the Ninja Turtles. So does my other nephew, so I had to go back and forth to change DVDs and keep them going. And my 9-year-old nephew was acting up, causing problems at times. So, it was really back and forth, and I didn't miss too much, but I missed out on a few things. Now, one of the things I did do right here is my list for my Royal Rumble draft picks. Now, you'll see beforehand, the videos that will come before this, take place during the Rumble itself. And these are basically, I'm going to show you right there. You can see them right there. This is who's on my list. And you'll see at the beginning in the playlist of how this all came to be. But basically I basically did like a top 10. Basically the 10, well not a top 10, but the 10 superstars I'm going to try to get behind. And surprisingly, I got some good ones right off the bat. Really surprising. I mean, for example, my number 2 pick, which you will see again, which you probably will see in the video, in the playlist, my live Rumble reactions and draft pick, which will begin with my random draft picks. My number 2 pick was the returning Chris Jericho, which I didn't expect to happen, but apparently he's back now. He's back again. So Chris Jericho was number 2, and that was a surprise. So that really started me off strong. And then I had to wait about 6 picks later, and my number 8 pick, in 6 picks later, because I had drawn number 8, or randomly picked number 8, and it was Goldust, which really surprised me. And then 2 picks later, and then a pick later, I basically had 4 picks in a row after this. My number 9 pick, which was kind of a disappointment at times, was David Otunga. And then the pick after that was Heath Slater. And then the pick after that was another good one, Sheamus. So basically, out of Jericho, Goldust, Otunga and Slater, and Sheamus, I got 3 good ones, or 2 good ones actually, and one surprise, and one possible good one in Goldust, but 3 good ones out of those first 5. And then later on during the match, I had to wait again to number 14, and that was Rey Mysterio. So that was a good one right there. And then 2 draws later was 16. It was Bo Dallas. So I got Bo Dallas for this year. And then I had to wait 4 more picks, and I ended up getting Damian Sandow. Not too bad. Then again in a row, I had another one, and I had one after that, and it was Daniel Bryan. And then my last one for the night was the Great Khali. And again, you could see that. And if you don't believe me, again, check out the playlist. Check out the live reaction video where I actually start doing this. I used the calendar part. Basically, red eye. But I was actually using this, the calendar, just to type around and kind of get an idea of who I was going to get. So, yeah, that's how I ended up drawing randomly. And don't believe me, check it out for yourself. So anyway, getting into the Rumble match itself, or getting into the Rumble pay-per-view itself, we started off with the Last Man Standing match. And I know a lot of people felt that this was already done before, 3 weeks before, and that is true, it was. And I will say there was a spot during the match where you had, well, you know, the staging area. They had the bottom little part of the staging area. You had Big Show go on top of that, go to the back of it, climb to the top of that almost, pick Del Rio up, and then choke slam him through a table that he had set up. Now, Big Show dominated most of this match. Now, I didn't catch exactly when Del Rio turned things around, but obviously it was with the help of Ricardo. And I thought it was okay. It wasn't the best Last Man Standing match. And you'll hear this in my reactions, but apparently they went the Cena Batista route with the duct tape. You know, it seems to me, and I will say this, it seems to me, anytime WWE does a Last Man Standing match with any guy, with someone like the Big Show or Batista, who's someone that basically, no matter what you do to them, will not stay down unless you really figure out an innovative way to keep them down. It seems they always got to come up with as some people like Brad would come up with, and Marvelous Mark over at OTRS, excuse me, would say, basically you got to go a comedic route, or a silly route, or a ridiculous route, and apparently the duct tape was the ridiculous route. I mean, I'm thinking, you know, in reality, Big Show could just use all those leg streaks and just break that thing, you know. But it didn't happen that way. And then we had the tag team titles match afterwards. And to me, I will say this. I honestly was hoping, predicting as a fan, you can see it in my prediction video, that Rhodes Scholars was going to win. But then again, I looked at the booking area and I'm thinking, well, you still got a little bit of momentum with Team Hell No and everything. And also it's kind of 50-50 was a toss-up, basically. And then with the rumor that you have him facing the Shield on house shows with the tag titles on the line, obviously you probably knew what the result was going to be, but one can dream, one can hope. And apparently, they decided to go with Team Hell No retaining. My guess is because of the fact that they're a very over tag team. They're kind of like the face of the tag division now. And basically that since it's a family environment, a family-friendly show, that you need a family-friendly tag team, or a tag team that the entire family can get behind. And Team Hell No is that tag team. So obviously, you know, WWE doesn't want to lose that momentum with them. And then, because of the individual matches were set up, it was no surprise, a little bit of a surprise, but no surprise actually. Okay, a bit of a surprise, but not much of a surprise, that the Rumble match was going to be third on the card. And I have to say, I know a lot of people, like I said, have a mixed reaction to this, but I thought it was an okay Rumble. I mean, there were some returns, not exactly those that we were hoping for and we thought of was going to make returns. I mean, there was no Benjamin, there was no Carlito, there was no Hurricane, there was no Masterpiece. But there was some returns, you know, pretty much expected returns. Like you had Chris Jericho, and now apparently, like I mentioned, is now apparently back again, full-time or medium-time or part-time or whatever. Goldust, and surprisingly, the one surprise I will say was The Godfather. That was a surprise. So overall, I thought it was an all-right Rumble. Not the best Royal Rumble match in history. I'll tell you that. It was one of it was mediocre at best. I mean, there were moments there. I mean, when you think of Bo Dallas coming in at 16 and lasting as long as he did, and then eliminating Wade Barrett, if that doesn't tell you they might be setting Bo Dallas up to run with the Intercontinental title soon, I do not know what does. And apparently now Bo Dallas is going to be on the main roster is going to be a regular member of the main roster. So basically, him winning that tournament on Saturday was his step up, his graduation, his elevation, his graduation to the next level. So yeah, Bo Dallas, I think probably has the only moment of the night by eliminating Wade Barrett. And of course, Barrett eliminated him from the outside, so that's going to start a Dallas-Barrett feud for the IC Championship. Give props to Ziggler. I mean, he definitely gave a good showing. Didn't last. You know, I thought he was going to be... I mean, he was in the Final Four. I predicted that. But he didn't last to the... He didn't, last to the Final Two. But he did last to the Final Four. Like I was hoping for, and he did. But apparently now they're going to split him off back into a situation, back into renewing his rivalry and feud with Chris Jericho, apparently. So, yeah, that's what's going to happen there. But yeah, he did make it to the Final Four. He had a good showing. Bo Dallas had a good showing. Jericho, his first night back, had a good showing. So it was really a good show. It was a above average, I will say, above average, again, mediocre Royal Rumble match. The final three were Sheamus, Ryback, and Cena. It came down to Cena and Ryback. And this I will say, this kind of threw me off a little bit. I mean, everybody pretty much knew who was going to win. But when you put Cena and Ryback as the final two, you kind of say to yourselves, could Ryback win? Are they going to go with Ryback? They didn't. Instead it was Cena, and Cena didn't eliminate him like with the attitude adjustment. He basically had to push Ryback from the back over the top rope to eliminate him. Now there were some other returns of mainstay roster members like Sin Cara and Mysterio. And Mysterio, of course, did come back, even though some people thought he wouldn't be at the Rumble, but he was. So there you go. But again, a mediocre to above average Rumble. Cena, as everybody predicted, did win, and is going to the main event of WrestleMania. But now, who is he going to face for the championship? Well, that came down to the match that ended the show, which was Rock and Punk, The Rock and CM Punk. I thought it was an okay match. I thought it was probably one of the better matches Rock's had since he's come back. It was really back and forth. I know there was few botches, as some people would say, but I thought it was really good. One of Rock's best matches since he's been back. They had their table moment, where it collapsed under them instead of letting Rock do the Rock Bottom or CM Punk do the GTS. And the ending, that was a kind of innovative ending, because here you had the Shield come in, essentially, if you will. Here you had the Shield. I was just checking my time there. Here you had the Shield come in when the lights went out. You had the Shield come in, but you didn't see the Shield. So innovative-wise, it made you think, well, okay, well, you don't see them. That means there's no way to tell whether or not they interfered. So CM Punk, after that, originally wins it, but then you have Vince McMahon come out and say, nope, ain't gonna happen. You think we're stupid. We know it was the Shield. Guess what? I'm gonna strip you now. But then Rock says, no, I don't want it to happen that way. Rock says, hey, I want to win it my way, not the way you're planning. Restart the match. So, that's what they do. They restart the match, and Rock becomes champion. So, if you're an Attitude Era fan and a Rock fan, you basically got what you've been hoping for, Rock as the WWE champion once again. So, overall, I will say it was I say it was a mediocre Rumble pay-per-view, not the best. So, that's all I'm going to say about it. Comment and video response down below what your thoughts are. and I'll talk to y'all later.